Okay, so here's the project that we're gonna work on. This is project number one on the TI-84 calculator. It says, to the right are results from a recent test. Teacher wants to graphically display the data so that the students can get a quick sense of what the class did and how they compare with the other class periods. Additional benefits of displaying the data graphically are that students won't see individual results and they'll refresh their understanding of histograms and box plots. So basically what we have are fictitious results for period 4 of this teacher and period 5, and those are all the different student scores. And so the very first thing we're going to do is enter the test scores um, into the calculator. So to enter the data, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this. So I'm going to do second plus 712. That just allows me to clear the RAM, and then I'm going to go to stat, and then I'm going to go to enter, and now I have blank uh, columns to work with, and I'm going to just start entering the data. So I've entered the data, and one way that I like to check, just because it's so easy to make mistakes, is if I have the right amount of numbers. I notice over here, for example, that there's 4 more on the second column, and that if I go back to the actual worksheet, I'm going to find also that I have 4 more values. So I'm confident that I did it correct, but there could be mistakes, but hopefully not. So now question number one also asks us to sort the data from and use sort descending. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go to the home screen, and I'm going to go to stat, and I'm going to sort. And I want to sort L1. And I'm going to go ahead and sort L2. And the reason we sort them is because it puts them obviously in order from least to greatest, but there might be some things that we can identify. And I'm gonna step back just for a sec because I feel like that value may not be 100% correct. That's 7. So I'm gonna just um, check to see what that might have been. I was able to figure out what it was, and I was missing a 79. But let's go back to what it's asking us to do. I'm gonna let you read number 2 on your own, because that's almost more of an opinion question. But let's look at number 3. It says, how wide would you make the bins in the histogram? For example, if you make the bin with 10, how many period 4 and period 5 students are there with test scores between 60 and 69? So they're trying to get you to see how wide you should make the bins. And what I'll say on this one is that there's a practical way of doing this. Obviously, when we do grades, we like to think of 60 to 69 being a D, 70 to 79 being a C, 80 to 89 being a B, and then anything above that an A. So it makes sense to make the bins or the width of each bar on the histogram 10. but they're trying to get you to think about whether that's an actually practical thing to do in terms of not just the way we think of grades, but also in terms of how many values will be in each bin. So 60 to 69, if you look, you've got, let's see, one, two, three. There's going to be three values on period four, and then one, two. It appears to me that there will be two on the second one. So I think that's just trying to get us to visualize what this looks like. So I'll let you go based on that conversation, answer that question. I did want to go back to number two. As I was going through number three, I realized one of the things when we're talking about the range of the data, it is important to know how high the values go. And in this case, the highest value is 100, and the lowest one in both cases, or when you consider both cases, is something in the 40s range. And I believe it might be that 44 up here. So that's going to be, I don't know that I was able to highlight the right thing, but that's going to be important for us moving forward because what we're going to be doing now, and what all these instructions here are for, is to get you to create histograms for both of them. And I'm going to go quickly through the steps. If you need to take more time, you can read this on your own. Okay, so let me go ahead and share the calculator because what I need to do is turn on some histograms of the data. I'm gonna go turn on the plots, and I want two of them because I have two. I'm gonna create two different histograms, one for each of the periods. And I'm gonna make sure that I choose the histogram. Okay, that looks like it's correct. It's on L1. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go ahead and put them together. I think in the worksheet, they want you to do one first and then the other one. But I'm going to, actually, I think I might do that. I'm going to leave this one off, but I am going to get it ready to go. And importantly, it's the window that we want to fix. Notice that the lowest value was a 44, so I'm going to start over here with 35. They might have selected something different in the worksheet, but I think it's important for you to know why we're going to those values. I'm choosing 35 to 110. In fact, I'm going to go to 30. And we'll take a look, and if it doesn't produce the picture that we want, we can always adjust it. But I think the most important thing, and so I'll note two things that are really important. You do need to start at a multiple of 10 because we wanted the bins to be of size 10, and it makes sense to start them at the 10s, right? Whether it's 30s or 40s or 50s. And then the width of the bins is going to be 10. Okay, so I think it'll make sense once we're actually looking at it, if it doesn't already make sense to you. So let's go ahead and go to the graph. Now remember, we should only be looking at the first set of data. That's the histogram. So now you see each of these is 10 units wide, and with the first set of data, there wasn't anything in this 40 to 49 bin. if you look at the data, but I still left it in there. So you notice it's got a long tail on the left. It's skewed. We say it's skewed to the left. So there's a taller um, bar on the right, and then the other ones kind of go down. And if I turn on, I think it's of some value to just turn on the second one for you. And to leave the other one off, just take a few steps to do this. But this is now they look the same, right? So that told me right away that there was a problem, and I know exactly what the problem is. The problem is that I did not change the column over here. So we had to make sure to do that. Now it's on L2. Now if I look at it, it looks different. So it has a slightly different shape, but we can put them both together on the same graph to compare them. And one's blue. It's a little hard to see because they are mixed, but with a little bit of imagination, you should be able to discern which one is the red one and which one's the blue one. And if you have to look at them individually, well, you just turn one of them off. By the way, there's things you can look at. There's things you can look at just looking at the data that I think they ask you about, which is, can you figure out what the median is? Well, the median is the number right in the middle, right? So if you've got 19 values, then the 10th one is the median. So I can easily find the median over here. And I am seeing this 10 here. So I'm feeling like I need to check my data because that doesn't seem like that's a correct number. So I'm going to take just a quick moment to take a look at that and correct that. So I was able to figure that was a 100, not a 10. And that may change what the median is, right? Because the 10th value is now going to be, well, it's still a 91. And that's because there were two 91s. Anyway, you can look at features like that and answer questions about things like the median. The next thing that I wanted to look at, so think about compare the two histograms, look at the shapes, the spread, so terms that you might want to look at using are skewed to the left, which means the tail is on the left, skewed to the right, which means the bigger part, the taller part is on the, when you say it's skewed to the right, the actually taller bars are on the left, or they may be symmetric where there's tall bars in the middle and then the lower bars are towards the ends. And you should be able to use that data. I already told you how to find the median. But go back and think about how the median and the mean are related to each other. You might remember that the mean is going to be pulled down if you have a left tail. So the mean is going to be to the left of the median. And the mean is going to raise the right tail is going to give you a higher mean compared to the median. It's if you have a long tail on the right, it's going to pull the mean up, which will put it to the right of the median. So go back and look at some of that. You'll be able to Google those concepts as well. All right. So there's a couple more things I wanted to do here. They are asking us to come up with all the one variable statistics. And I don't think I'm sharing the worksheet, so let me make sure that I'm sharing the worksheet. Um, so they ask you to record the actual mean and the median once you have done, sorry, I don't think I was sharing number six. Number six is ask you to estimate the mean and the median, and you should be able, as I said, to do number six by looking at the graphs and studying the distribution. It might help you to see them by themselves. And I don't know, I feel like I might want to go just a tad bit further on here just to make them look um, more clear because I wanted that space on the left. Um, so what we're being asked to do on the next thing is record the actual mean and the actual median, and that's by getting the one variable statistics. And so to get one variable statistics, what you do is you go to the home screen and you go to stat and then you go to calc, and the very first one is one variable statistics, and calculate, and that gives you the actual mean is 86. By the way, this is giving you information about list one. And so Q2 should coincide with what we expected, which was, well, Q2, which is the median, is 91. That's what we had already observed. So you're gonna write, and it would be, that's the median, the 91, and then X bar is the mean, the average, which is 85.68. Let's see if we can get the other one. So it's stat, calc, one variable statistics, and we need to change it to list two. So it's going to be list two. That's going to give us our second mean and median. The mean is 80.5, and the mean, which comes after Q1, is 82. And just to confirm that, I think it's worth looking at the table. I think we got 82. Notice that there are actually, it looks like 23 numbers. So then the 20 if we divide that by 2, right, we get 21 and a half. So then we have to round off to 22. So it's a 22nd one. No, it's the 12th value. My bad. Yeah, if there are 23 values, then it's the 12th value that's in the middle. And there you go. What we expected was that 82. So it coincides with the value that had been computed, which I already erased. And I believe there's one more thing I wanted to do before I close out this tutorial, and that is showing you how to look at box plots. So we're going to change it from the histogram to a box plot on the calculator. So I'm going to go back to the calculator, and I'm going to go back to the plots, but I'm gonna leave them on. And the nice thing is those are much easier to see. But I'm gonna turn the box plot, and now I need to turn it on the second plot. And make sure I press enter. Now when I look at it, I can see both of them, and there's some interesting things going on. For example, you see there's some outliers over here. You can hit the trace key and notice, for example, you can calculate interquartile range, which in this case would be 93 minus 74. So there are things that you can gather by using the trace and using the box plots. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you with that information. That should be plenty for you to complete this project. And I think you should be able to go up to question number 15 on this project with all the information. Problem two, most of what you're doing is you're analyzing this box plot. Sometimes it's called a box and whiskers plot. And so that should be plenty of information. Hopefully that helps you complete this project.